All right. I tell you what, then I'm gonna back off a little bit and just wait and see along with the rest of us. And I really appreciate you jumping on the phone here and giving me your thoughts.
Yeah, it's even I actually work with a person who firmly believes that NDEs are illusory, Dr. Kevin Nelson, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. As long as anybody is doing, serious, credible research about near-death experience, no matter what their opinion, I'm behind them. I'll help out in whatever way I can because I believe research is important. And I'll tell you, one of the critical things is, even if it's research is being done by somebody who's, not necessarily a proponent for the reality of NDEs, or if they even if they believe, and I'm talking in general here, that NDEs are an illusion. I think one of the key ways that at some future time we're going to be able to prove the reality of near-death experiences is by carefully considering all alternative physiological, sociological, and cultural explanations, and then through good quality research, exploring the hypotheses for the cause of NDE, and then only if the research does not validate that hypothesis as a cause of NDE, when we've ruled out all reasonable explanations for near-death experience, then at that point in time, we've really got near-death experiences proven because we've carefully considered all possible alternate explanations. And that's why I think, research, no matter, where they're coming from, as long as they're good folks like Dr. Parnia, we should all encourage their research.
Well said. And thanks again, Jeff.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So that was great, and I'm certainly grateful for Dr. Jeffrey Long getting on the phone and having that conversation with me. I have to tell you that he also sent me an email, and we had a little email exchange before the interview. And he said basically the same thing, that he's very supportive of NDE research, and he knows Sam Parnia to be a good guy. But he also included this, which I think is also very consistent with what Dr. Long has said and published in the past. He said, for NDEs to be accepted as an illusion, then each and every one of all of the following must be true for all NDEs. Process that for a minute. That's a pretty strong statement. Each and every one of all of the following have to be true in every case. First, the predominantly crystal clear consciousness during NDEs is always an illusion. And accurate OBE observations, out-of-body experience observations, during NDEs must all be false. And the heightened sense reported during NDEs, including visual NDEs in the blind and those blind from birth, they all must be false. And NDEs reported under general anesthesia, even with accurate OBE observations, they all must be false. And life reviews during NDEs with awareness of prior life experiences they forgot and awareness of how others felt that interacted with them, those all must be false. And the 94% of NDEs that encounter only deceased individuals that they had previously known on Earth, and that vastly higher percentage than observed in the normal state of altered consciousness, that must be explainable by some yet unknown means. So we're saying you have to explain the fact that NDEers only see deceased relatives that they've known on Earth. Well, why? And the consistency of the content from these NDE reports, both from very young children who are not socialized, under 5 years old, and the consistency with that and the content of NDEs of older children and of adults and of the elderly, the consistency among all those groups, that must be explainable by yet some unknown means. And we also have to explain the consistency of the content from NDEs around the world, including cultures very different from Western cultures. All that must be explainable. And finally, he throws in one more that gets to the meaning issue, and that is that the consistent understanding that NDEs encounter about the connection and unity of all in an afterlife, the meaning and purpose of life that they seem to consistently come away with, all that must be explainable by some means that we don't have any explanation for as of yet. And here's how he wraps it up. Therefore, the belief that NDEs are only illusions would require both, one, the lack of acceptance of established and corroborated extensive NDE evidence, and two, faith that science will someday have explanations for what we've already observed and find unexplainable. Now I'm going to post the full text of Dr. Long's email, and I'd like to hear if anyone has any objections to what he's laid down as the logic, the proof standard that's necessary for us to accept Dr. Parnia's suspicion that NDEs are an illusion. To me, it's extremely clear and straightforward because I'm not sure how you can credibly argue against it. But we'll see. That'll be your chance to join this discussion on our forums or in the comment section of the website. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for staying with me. There's much more on the Skeptiko website at skeptiko.com. You'll find a link to our forums, an email, Facebook link to me, and all the links to our previous shows. Appreciate those of you who have recommended the show to your friends, have blogged about it, and written about it. It's certainly encouraging to see interest in the show grow and to expand the number of people who are coming to know Skeptiko. So many thanks for that, and please continue to do so. Well, that's going to do it for now. Until next time, bye for now.